Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening or this morning, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Jackie Schrager, and I am the Program Director at SIA Headquarters. Before we dive into our webinar tonight, I have some quick housekeeping reminders. This webinar is being recorded. So if you have any fellow members who didn't sign up in time or who can't be here tonight, don't worry. It will be in our YouTube channel, hopefully by early next week. And we will email it, post it on social, and include it in our next Best for Women. Also, this webinar is being simultaneously interpreted. So if you're on the English channel, I may sound a bit slower than usual. This is so our interpreters can keep up with my speaking pace, and so the webinar can be accessible to everyone. I also want to let you know that we have some resources that will be available during this webinar. So you can see them in the resources tab, and they will also pop up and be featured at certain moments. I think that's it for all of our housekeeping reminders. Oh, one more thing. Please be sure that if you have any questions for us throughout the webinar, that you put them in the Q&A box that's in the ribbon on the bottom of your screen. We ask you to do that because we had 1,000 people registered to be here tonight, and I can see we already have 400 attendees. So if you ask a question in the chat, it may be missed. So please be sure that you put any questions in that Q&A box. Additionally, just a final reminder, please be sure to join your interpretation channel, including our English speakers. This will make sure you have the best audio experience. Okay, housekeeping over, on to the fun part. I'm going to be sharing some icebreaker questions and would love to hear your responses in the chat. So here in the United States, I know this isn't the norm everywhere, but it's back to school time. And I always get the urge around this time of year to learn something new or pick up a new hobby, maybe read something. So I'd love to hear in the chat from you all, what's something you want to learn? It could be anything. Could be knitting, art, something Soroptimist related. Maybe you want to be the treasurer, anything that you're interested in learning. Ooh, Chris Kelly making pierogies. Chris, I would like to come enjoy that hobby of yours. Opening a new business, crochet, another language, lots of new languages. Well, if any of them are our Soroptimist languages, I think you have some fellow members who would be happy to help you practice. Taiko drumming, ooh, snorkeling, genealogy research, dance, Pilates, stained glass. Ooh, that's got to be a beautiful hobby. Banjo, myofascial release. Oh, I love this one from Teresa. Speak Korean to attend the SIA convention in 2026. Watercolor painting. I'm working on that one as well. Oh, that's from another Jackie too. That's great. Selling gifts on the internet, making Christmas wreaths. Yeah, wow, we've got so many. I love to see how everyone's looking to add and improve their lives. This is wonderful. Great. So I'm going to transition into our next question for the chat. So I'd like to know if you can share one reason you're excited about the Uplift Her initiative that we're going to be talking about tonight. And if you don't know what it is, that's great. That's what tonight's all about. But if there's anything you've seen about it or heard about it, if you were at convention, maybe you got the handout that makes you excited, I'd love to see it. Love learning something new. Excited to learn more, hear all about it, more ways to help women and girls, to have a new support in our community, a new way to support our community, like the idea of having a focus for the program activities, increasing member satisfaction, curiosity. We love curiosity. Just being a Soroptimist. Absolutely. We love that. Yeah. How to uplift her. Yes, that's what we're going to be focused on tonight for sure. Yeah, increasing member participation. We're excited about that too. We hope that that will be an outcome. Yeah. Attract new members. Yes, absolutely. Great. Well, I love seeing all these answers come in. We have just one more icebreaker for you. We're going to launch a poll. So, for our non English speakers, I will be reading these answers out loud for you, and we'll try to give enough time. So, share which quarterly focus resonates most with you: intimate partner violence, trafficking, single parenting, and period poverty. So again, for our non-English speakers, the question is, share which quarterly focus resonates most with you: intimate partner violence, trafficking, single parenting, and period poverty. So we'll give it about 15 more seconds, get everyone's votes in. Okay, I think it's calming down in the voting, so I think we can end the poll now. Thank you, everyone. We'll see those results. Wow. So trafficking is the one that resonates most with people, but we're pretty evenly split among the other obstacles: single parenting, then intimate partner violence, and then period poverty. I did see in the chat someone curious about what that is, so we'll be talking about that in depth tonight, so no need to worry. Well, thank you everyone for participating in our icebreakers. At this point, we will transition into our content for the evening. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Jackie Schrager, and I'm the Program Director at SIA. I'm joined by the rest of our small but mighty program team: Aisha D. Brown, our Chief Impact and Engagement Officer; Sarah Detweiler, our Program Coordinator; and Megan Pinnock, our Program Specialist. Our focus today is to introduce the Program Department's new member engagement initiative, Soroptimist's UpliftHER. So it's obviously a great name, but what is it? Soroptimist's UpliftHER is an exciting new initiative that will focus on an obstacle that women and girls face on their path to formal education and economic empowerment. We will choose one obstacle to focus on each quarter. SIA headquarters will share information about the obstacle, as well as suggested projects related to that obstacle that can count towards our big goal. Clubs can participate in the quarterly project focus by sharing SIA's posts and posting their own projects with our hashtag SoroptimistsUpliftHER. Our 2031 big goal was created with member engagement and input. And our goal is to focus on investing in the dreams of 500,000 women and girls through access to education. This goal includes women and girls reached through our DREAM programs, the Live Your Dream Awards, and Dream It Be It. It also includes our Big Goal Accelerator projects. Big Goal Accelerator projects are club or region work that is not the DREAM programs, but which does increase access to formal education for women and girls facing obstacles to their success, therefore accelerating our progress towards our big goal. Our members are passionate about the obstacles that women and girls face on their path to economic empowerment. And we know our members want to help ameliorate these obstacles. But often the work that is being done is not an intervention which aligns with our big goal. These might be projects such as painting a domestic violence shelter, raising awareness of various issues and resources available, or providing holiday gifts for single mothers and their families. We can't count these projects towards our big goal because they're not focused on providing education or economic empowerment, but we do know that our members care deeply about these obstacles and the women and girls impacted by them. We want our members to feel seen and appreciated while we also keep our eyes on our big goal of investing in the dreams of 500,000 women and girls through access to education. We hope that Soroptimist's UpliftHER will provide a stronger feeling of connection to our Big Goal Accelerator projects, DREAM programs, the SIA mission, and the Big Goal for all of our members who participate, while also promoting eligible projects that can be counted as Big Goal accelerators. We know our members do great work. So this is just another way to highlight the topics that our members are passionate about, while also making sure that those projects count towards our big goal. I know that we can accomplish so much together. We will have a different focus area every quarter and have chosen one month that's dedicated to that issue area, and we'll highlight it throughout that month. First, I'll be introducing our focus for each quarter, and then I'll share some suggested projects that your club can participate in. So Soroptimist UpliftHER will start next month in October. Our first focus area is intimate partner violence. We know that women who experience violence in relationships often suffer financially. They may be forced to rely on their abuser for money, banned from working, or first forced to turn over their earnings to their abuser. Many women experiencing intimate partner violence are afraid to leave because of threats to their physical safety. They also have very real fears about how they can provide for themselves and their dependents if they have been prevented from doing so. Access to formal education can provide women with the tools to prevent experiencing domestic violence and to command better wages after they leave a violent situation. We chose this focus area because Soroptimists have a long-standing commitment to fighting violence against women. We also have a long history of awareness projects, like the Domestic Violence Workplace Campaign. We hope that we can tap into that commitment to fuel projects that are focused on access to education and economic empowerment. Our next quarterly focus will be trafficking in January. While trafficking also affects men and boys, the UN reports that for every 10 trafficked victims globally, 5 are adult women and 2 are girls. Everything we stated previously about women who have experienced intimate partner violence is also true for women who have been trafficked. Additionally, they often face unfair social stigma that can make finding meaningful employment difficult. Reducing poverty is a powerful way to reduce risk of trafficking, and education is a pathway to doing just that. As we said previously about intimate partner violence, we know our members also have a long-standing commitment to fighting violence against women in all varieties, including trafficking, and have done so through projects in the past. In March, we will be focusing on the obstacle of being a single parent, specifically a single mother. Providing for yourself and your children alone is a huge responsibility. And this is made even more difficult if you're not privileged to have supportive family or community around you. In the United States, less than 1 in 4 single mothers even receive any financial child support payments from the father. About a third of single parent families live at or below the poverty level. Unfortunately, these statistics are very similar in other countries as well. But Soroptimists can provide additional support to help single mothers thrive and achieve their goal of economic empowerment. And in May, our focus will be on the obstacle of period poverty. Even in countries with a lot of resources, not having access to menstrual supplies can prevent girls from attending school or women from going to work. According to a 2023 study, nearly a quarter of US teenagers and 1/3 of adults struggle to afford period products. Globally, 500 million girls lack access to menstrual hygiene products. So, now that you are familiar with all 4 focus areas, we'd like to discuss projects. We're going to share some suggested projects that we'd like to encourage clubs to focus on during each quarter. Of course, this is all voluntary, but how amazing would it be to see clubs across the globe helping women and girls through the same projects at the same time? We're excited to see this unfold. Our suggested project for October and intimate partner violence is to partner with a local shelter by providing professional dress clothing or work clothing for women who have experienced violence. If appropriate, you could also provide training on interview basics, resume writing, and career advancement. Many women who have left violent situations struggle to find employment, especially if they've been out of the workforce for a long time. Your club likely has a lot of knowledge on these topics. But if you have access to a professional resume writer or a human resources professional, that's even better. Before donating any clothing, be sure to connect with the shelter to make sure that they have a place for it and that they can use it. And your club should be sure to report this as a Big Goal Accelerator project, as your club provides the training that helps women ace their interviews and removes an obstacle to help them succeed in their careers. In January, with the focus on trafficking, we'd like to encourage clubs to provide a scholarship for women who have experienced trafficking. If appropriate, your club could also offer career or college mentoring for these women. Not all agencies that work with trafficking survivors will be open to external volunteers providing services, and that's for safety and confidentiality. So if you cannot provide the mentoring piece, that's completely okay. An education award could be the financial catalyst to help a woman start or finish school. And again, be sure to report this to us as a Big Goal Accelerator project or a Live Your Dream Award if you choose to give one to a survivor of trafficking. In March, our focus will be on single mothers. So our suggested project for clubs is to provide financial assistance for childcare for single moms enrolled in an education program. Our surveys with past Live Your Dream Award recipients have shown that the number one thing they need to finish their education is financial support. Unfortunately, quality childcare can be extremely expensive. Financial assistance for childcare during school or training programs can make a huge difference to a single parent. Consider offering this support for a woman who wasn't chosen for a Live Your Dream Award, but who you know would benefit from this support. Alternatively, if you live in an area where childcare is free or low cost, You could provide a grant for another purpose for single moms, perhaps an education award or paying exam fees on her behalf. And again, if your club does participate in this initiative, be sure to report it to SIA as a Big Goal Accelerator project. Finally, in May, we will be focusing on the obstacle of period poverty. This project is a great way to reach a large number of women and girls. Your club could host a drive for period product donations and also get hands-on while you create period kits to donate to local agencies, like those that are serving foster girls, shelters, or schools in low-income areas. This will definitely be a project where you have to estimate the number of beneficiaries, but that's okay. So for a school, you could take the percentage of low-income students and multiply that by the number of girls attending the school. For a residential facility, the number of women or girls is likely a good estimate. And again, don't forget to report it to us at headquarters. I want to emphasize that this is a totally voluntary initiative, but we do hope that members and clubs will be excited to participate in Soroptimist's UpliftHER. One way to participate is to share SIA's posts about each monthly focus on social media. We will be sharing content about how each obstacle impacts access to formal education and economic empowerment for women and girls. We'd love to see clubs using those posts to help educate others. You can also post about your club's own projects using our hashtag SoroptimistUpliftHER during the appropriate time frame. And SAA may reshare your post. Let's use social media to gain more awareness about these issues. If your club has the capacity, we'd love to see you participate in one of these suggested quarterly projects. And of course, to report it to us as appropriate. Of course, we know many clubs already have their hands full with great projects. But if your club has the ability to add more or to change something you're already doing to make it fit and count as a Big Goal Accelerator project, we'd love to see that. If you have questions about if your club's existing project is eligible as a Big Goal Accelerator project, please email us at program@soroptimist.org and we'll be happy to help. So, what if your club has a project that is related to one of these obstacles, but it's not focused on access to education or economic empowerment? Of course, you're welcome to share about it during the month and quarter, but just don't report it as a Big Goal Accelerator project. So, for example, if your club has an awareness campaign related to trafficking, you can definitely post about it during the month of January and use the hashtag. But since it's not focused on access to education or economic empowerment, you wouldn't need to complete a Big Goal Accelerator project report. You are always welcome to reach out to us for suggestions on how to turn a project into an eligible accelerator. So at this point in the webinar, we had planned to have a member share about their club's project, but unfortunately, she wasn't able to be with us tonight. So I'll be sharing about Soroptimist International of Grand Erie's project on her behalf. The club delivered a period-focused project, and they had involvement from schools, teens, community members, radio stations, sports teams, and public health nurses. It was truly a whole community undertaking. They stocked approximately 40 4-foot-tall boxes packed full of pads, tampons, underwear, cleanup kits, educational QR cards, emergency information, cute bags, dream it, be it info, and self-esteem bookmarks. The educational QR cards had education information about toxic shock syndrome, how to use period supplies, puberty, and what a missed period might mean, as well as information about community resources like food and hygiene banks, counseling, and crisis centers. These items were delivered to approximately 18 high schools in the area, women's shelters, and a few feminine hygiene supply places, such as the Free Little Pantry in their community. All told, over 5,000 women and girls had increased access to period products and therefore increased ability to attend school or go to work because of this club's project. The club got the idea for the project because their Dream It Be It steering committee girls were asked how they wanted to make an impact in their community. And several ideas were supplied. After polls, research, student and school staff questionnaires, it was determined that period supplies and education, along with information about local resources, were the best intervention that SI Grand Erie could provide. Their government was supposed to create free supply programs in all the schools, but had not done so yet. So this provided a way for the club to meet a very real local need. Members played so many roles in this project. They created the polls and surveys, interviewed the teens, connected to the schools, interviewed with local radio stations, created these huge donation boxes, and disseminated them to local businesses. They also contacted local hygiene suppliers and requested donations. The club received 3 giant skids of products, so it's a lot of product. Members also created and shared social media posts, created the QR business cards with educational information and community resources, packed bags and boxes, delivered them to the schools, and worked with health nurses at the schools to talk about reproductive health. There were so many hands-on opportunities to get involved here. So again, I apologize that I had to be the one to deliver this instead of the member. It's always more fun when we can hear from members who are the ones doing this work and seeing the impact directly. But I do hope that that inspires some clubs to try to recreate something similar in your community if you haven't already. So at this point, we are going to transition to a little post-presentation poll to see how people are feeling before we dive into our Q&A. So I will read these questions. Number 1, which quarterly focus are you most excited to focus on? Intimate partner violence, trafficking, single parenting, and period poverty. Number 2, and this may be the same as number 1 or different. Which quarterly focus topics does your club already have a focus on in your club's work? Intimate partner violence, trafficking, single parenting, and period poverty. And the final question is an open-ended answer box. So if you have a focus topic that your club is already working on, please tell us about your projects in that box. We will give that a minute because I know it can take a little bit longer to type out your answers for the third question. So again, we have 3 questions. Which quarterly focus are you most excited about? Which quarterly focus topic does your club already focus on? And then tell us about your projects. You may have to scroll to see the second and third questions. Okay, so we will end the poll now. I see some people said they didn't see the third question. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so people are most excited to focus on period poverty. So we've got 41% there, 24% about single parenting, 22% about trafficking, and 12% about intimate partner violence. Looks like clubs are already focused heavily on trafficking with 39%, single moms 35%, intimate partner violence 30%, and period poverty 24%. Great. Okay, great. Thank you so much for participating in that. Sarah, would you be able to come on camera and share any results from that? Because unfortunately, I can't see the details of the third question.
Hello, everyone. And no, I don't think I'm a host, so I'm
Oh.
having trouble finding the results too. Um,
Hmm.
it's not giving me the option, so I thought
Oh.
maybe you could see it as a host.
Unfortunately, no, the C details isn't there. Well, that's okay. We will certainly make sure to share any details that we get from that in a social media post so that folks can see what clubs are already doing that might be inspirational. I'm sure we'll have a lot of content there. So at this point, we're going to move into our question and answer section. So if you do have a question, please be sure to put it into the question and answer box. And we'll go from there. Please don't raise hands. We do have a lot of folks here. And so we just want to make sure that we get everything answered in the right place and that it doesn't get lost. If we run out of time, please email us program@soroptimist.org, and then we can help follow up with you individually.
All right, so a lot of great questions here. So let's get started. Um, let's see, we can start with one that's just how often will the focus areas change?
So the focus will be quarterly. We will be highlighting things more during the month. So these were all related to either global or US awareness months. Of course, we know we have a global membership, but sometimes there might be multiple global awareness months in one month. And we wanted to try to spread it out throughout the year so that we weren't overwhelming people with this new initiative and asking them to do a new thing all in one month. So they will be quarterly focus areas, but you are welcome to do your project at any time of the year. We just would like to ask folks to make sure that they're amplifying and talking about their related projects and these obstacles during the focus quarter and month.
Okay, another question is if the club already has a project, something like this, but not in the suggested month, is it still reportable as a Big Goal Accelerator project?
Yes, absolutely. And we would love for you to report it. So if you have any questions about if your project is fully eligible, please email us again, program@soroptimist.org. You can also email me directly, just Jackie@soroptimist.org. And we'll be happy to walk that through with you. We don't want people to report a project hoping it'll count, and then we have to tell you that's not eligible. So we always encourage you ask first if you're not sure.
And how can we report our project?
Yeah, so if your project is eligible as a Big Goal Accelerator, Then you would report it through our online reporting form, which I see is highlighted in the resources section. And to be a big goal accelerator project, your project does need to focus on women and girls who have some sort of additional obstacle to their success in addition to their gender. It also has to be focused on increasing access to education or economic empowerment as the end goal of the project. The project also needs to be not reaching women and girls already reached by Dream It Be It. Now, I'm not saying you can't do that project, but with our big goal, we are trying to count 500,000 individual women and girls. So if a girl does Dream It Be It, and then you provide her with a period kit and she gets a scholarship, we don't want to count her 3 times. And then the final component for a big goal accelerator project is that it does need to be Soroptimist led. That doesn't mean that you can't partner, but it shouldn't be your organization just writing a check to another organization, something like that.
Another reporting question. Um, Looks like we can we submit a report as soon as it is finished instead of waiting until the end of the club year?
I love this question. So, yes, please report as soon as your project is finished. And the reason why I say I love that question is that the projects often come in all during that last weekend right before the report is due. So, for our team, as we review each of these reports individually, it's much more helpful if you spread them throughout the year. So, you are welcome to report at any time during the club year. Thank you for that question.
See, can we extend the focus area into another month or add an additional month, not consecutively?
Sure, absolutely. Our goal with this is really to just harness some excited energy from our members around these obstacles that we know a lot of members really care about. So you're certainly welcome to continue posting or sharing about anything, but we do want to make sure that you are trying to participate during the quarter at some point, but you can certainly extend it if you'd like to.
We have a question, if you can define economic empowerment.
Yeah, so economic empowerment, the way that it is defined by Soroptimist is that a woman is able to earn a decent enough wage that she can support herself and any dependents while also living safe and freely. So it's a pretty broad definition, but for most women, what that looks like is being able to work in a job that they enjoy, that they're able to get a good wage from, and that they're able to support themselves and their family.
Will the focus area stay the same for next year? This comment says it can take months to get programs off the ground, and clubs may not have time this year, especially for the first couple of quarters.
Yeah, of course. So as of now, because this is so new, I don't want to say it'll definitely be exactly the same next year. We do know that these issues are very near and dear to our members' hearts based on current and past projects. So they are likely to have at least some similarities. Now, that being said, we do not expect that clubs will start 4 new projects this year. I mean, if your club can, that's amazing. Please tell us how, because as you said, it can take months to get something off the ground. But this is more of encouraging you to share about what you're already doing that's related to this, and if it can be changed or added to make sure that it counts towards our big goal, to do that and just be sure to post about it and report it to us.
For the period poverty project, does it need to be local or can we partner to send internationally, excuse me?
Yeah. So we would recommend that it is local. And the reason for that is that then your club will know exactly how many of the kits were used. You'll have a better chance at estimating your impact. and it'll be easier to quantify and replicate. With something international, it could sort of go along the line of potentially being just supporting another organization. So we'd encourage you to talk locally to your schools, any agencies that are serving women and girls who are low income or have additional obstacles. Unfortunately, the reality is every community in the US and internationally does have some level of period poverty. So there is likely to be someone in your community who you're able to help through that initiative. You don't necessarily have to look globally.
And let's see, also related to the period poverty, we had a few questions about contact information. So can we get the information on the point of contact for the period project?
I love that you're excited about that. I will have to confirm with the club that that is okay to share before putting that out there. So if it is, you can expect to see a blog post from us with that information. But certainly, I would say you can find Soroptimists probably in your region who are doing something similar or might have ideas for how you can get it off the ground. But we will look into the contact info.
Okay, let's see. What partners are approved or recommended to partner with on these focus points? For example, YWCA for domestic assault or
Yeah,
domestic
Yeah, great
violence.
question. So this is really going to depend on what partners are in your community. We don't necessarily have an approved list. This will really depend on what's available in your area. So if in your area, the YWCA is the group that handles intimate partner violence or offers shelters, that would be a great place to start. So it's really going to be on the local level for sure.
All right. A lot of great questions. I'm trying to, get us through as many as we can. About many women who have been trafficked will need a GED before they can get higher education. Is an education award still appropriate or eligible?
Yes. So we, in a past webinar, did have a club who spoke about their project where they provide a voucher for the GED fees that women have to pay. So most GED classes themselves are free, but in a lot of places, you might have to pay to take each individual subject course. And it might not seem expensive, but it could be a barrier for a woman who is really just trying to get started and get off the ground. So I would say absolutely paying GED fees, or if there's anything in your area that's similar and does have some fees, or paying for potentially books to help them prep, all of that would be eligible. Yes, doesn't have to be higher education.
Great. Right. For the October focus, if a club only can provide professional dress clothing but cannot be involved in any training, does this still count as a Big Goal Accelerator project?
Yes, that would still be able to count. We would just want to encourage you to work with the organization to try to get a good estimate of how many women were helped by that project, since that is something we ask on the Big Goal Accelerator project reporting form. So you'd want to just make sure they could give you a guess as to what that would be. And as we said before, I'd really encourage you to just connect with them and make sure that that's something they can use, that they have space for it. Every facility is different. And some may be very grateful, and some may say, yes, but call me in 6 months. I have no room right now. So just check in with them first for sure.
Okay, does the help have to be to an individual or can it be to a group?
Yeah, this is a good question. So, when we say individual or group, if we're talking about individual woman or girl or group of women or girls, both are eligible. But what you wouldn't want to do is just make a donation to another organization and call it a Big Goal Accelerator project. So, helping a group of women or girls, amazing. We do need you to be able to estimate the impact in terms of the number reached. But again, that can be your best, honest guess. It doesn't have to be, we know for sure it was these 12 women if that information is not available.
Will Canva templates be available for clubs to download and use for the monthly focus topic?
I love that question. And I love that you are comfortable with Canva. So at this time, we are working on exactly what resources will be provided, but we will definitely make a note that there is interest in some Canva templates, and that might be something that you're interested in having available to customize for your each focus. Yeah.
And related to resources, will any literature or templates be updated with inclusive language? It makes it difficult to use when we need to change written material or digital.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what language you're referring to with inclusive language, but please feel free to follow up with me later if there's something that you're not sure about. We can discuss that. Yeah, thank you.
And can you explain why this is being presented as a membership initiative and not a program initiative?
Yeah, so this isn't a membership initiative, but we are thinking of it as a way to engage members in our programs, because this isn't a new program. So let me explain what that means a little bit more. When we have a program here at SIA, like our dream programs, Dream It Be It, and the Live Your Dream Awards, what that means is that every club is doing a very similar intervention, and we expect to see certain objectives achieved by those projects. So if you ever look on our website at our materials where we share the number of women and girls we reached in the last year for Live Your Dream Awards, we often report out on the same objectives. So it will be things like 85% of women who received an award increased their standard of living. That's an objective by which we measure the success of everyone participating in the Live Your Dream Awards, down to every level. So I say all that to say this isn't a new program because every club is going to be doing something a little different. It's also why we don't call Big Goal Accelerator projects one of our programs. It is a program department initiative, but it's not a full-blown program. So I apologize if that was too in the weeds, but I did want to give that context of how that can, why we are referring to it. It's membership engagement because we want to get our members engaged in our programs.
Okay, so we have a comment about the difficulty and lack of resources for clubs. So the question is, can we seek a partnership?
Yes, absolutely. But certainly we would want to know a little more about what that means. There's a wide variety of ways that clubs partner with organizations. So we just want some more information to understand what you're talking about. Also, if your club needs resources in terms of funding for something, if it is a big goal eligible project, meaning it's a big goal accelerator, it's a Live Your Dream Award, or it's Dream It Be It, you can apply for a club grant to be used the following year.
Okay, the if we provide a childcare grant to a Live Your Dream awardee in a following year, then can we count her?
So you can certainly share about it, during the focus month or throughout the year, using the hashtag, but you wouldn't count it as a big goal accelerator project. On the club reporting form, we do ask if you've provided additional support to Live Your Dream Award recipients, and that can include past recipients. So that's where you would include her.
Okay, our club develops cooking and baking courses in collaboration with a public institution to train women to receive their degrees. It helps them find work and encourage them to achieve economic independence. Can I use this program in October?
I would want to know a little more about it, but it does sound like it has the right goals at heart. But again, if it meets the Big Goal Accelerator project requirements, you can always report it as a Big Goal Accelerator project.
Okay. Would paying for childcare or gas money be counted for a woman getting her GED?
So yes, that could count as a Big Goal Accelerator project. If you want to share about it related to one of these Uplift Her focus quarters, then we'd want to just think about, does she fit into any of these different obstacles? So is she a single mom? Has she experienced intimate partner violence? Has she been trafficked? She's probably experienced period poverty because it's a really common issue. So any of that, if you're going to share it during those months, you would just want to think about, when did this apply? But certainly sounds like a Big Goal Accelerator project.
And how much do these projects cost to start up?
Great question. So I think that a lot of this really depends on looking at what your club has capacity for. So, for example, if you have, let's say you've got a lot of really involved members, but right now, fundraising's not going great, or you're just having a hard time funding things beyond your current existing projects. I would look into something that your club could maybe do with donations from another organization, like reaching out to, menstrual product companies, seeing if you can get donations for period projects without having to put out your own money. Similarly, if your club is able to donate clothing to a shelter that's for women who are trying to get back into the workforce. That might be something you can do with very gently used, good condition donations. So it could be very little money. Or if your club is experiencing, the ability to give more, you certainly could jump right to, we're going to give a nice big award for a woman who's enrolled in a program and has experienced one of these obstacles. So it can really be flexible on what your club has.
Our club is in the middle of doing the period poverty drive in our community to supply to all county high schools and middle schools. Since we are doing it early, can it still qualify for an accelerator project?
Absolutely, yes. So it doesn't matter when you do your project throughout the year. You are welcome to do it at any time, report it at any time. We would just encourage that if you are doing period poverty, post about it when that topic comes around and share your project so other clubs can learn. So we'll have time for one more question. Thank you all so much for all your participation tonight.
Okay. Oh, goodness. Pressure to pick one more. So many great questions. Let's see. Is there a minimum number of recipients for each of the focuses or projects? And will there be formal record keeping?
So no minimum number of recipients for each focus or project. Again, we do ask that you can at least report on having impacted one woman or girl if you're reporting a Big Goal Accelerator project. Excuse me. Additionally, if you're just sharing about a project that your club has done related to one of these obstacles, no minimum number required. All right. Well, thank you so much for your very enthusiastic participation tonight. Thank you to Sarah for facilitating the questions and answers. Thank you for everyone being so involved in the chat, and Megan for making sure that people had their resources. Thank you to Grace for our tech support, and thank you to our interpreters for making sure this was accessible for all members. If you have any questions, please reach out. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, evening, whatever time it is where you are. Thank you.